Hey everybody, still Too Tall 110 here. This is a video I don't want to make. I don't want to do this job at all, but I've got to do it. So let me bring you up to date if you're not aware. I did a whole rebuild on this bike. You can watch that whole series. We had some problems with the suspension, which we thought we overcame, but we didn't. And the only solution was to either buy new forks from America, which ended up not working because it was just a nightmare, or finding someone who could do the repair work by being able to get hold of the seals that we couldn't. And basically the plan is that I have new stanchions and they're going to replace all the seals inside and basically just fully refurbish them. I'll be sending those off and I'll get those back in, I don't know, a month or something. I don't know how long it's going to be. But in the meantime, there is another job I have to do, and this is the job I don't want to do. When I did the build, I switched my damper out for a newer one I had with a yellow spring on it. So what I've got here is my damper, original one is here, the new one is in there, but that one actually leaks. So I've got to take the suspension out and switch back the damper, which is an easy job to switch over, and everything's going to be fairly easy. It's just the fact that I've got to try and get my suspension out of this bike without taking it apart entirely. It'll end up coming up and out of the bike this way, but I don't know how easy this is going to be. I might have to loosen the subframe. That might mean messing with my wiring because I've done everything so neatly in this. As I say, this is going to be a ball ache just to stop a little bit of weeping of oil on the strut. But it needs to be done. So, let's do this. Please leave a like. I may end up doing this in one part, I may not. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, my lovely new plastics. Suzuki gave me these. It's very nice of them. The only reason I'm not excited about doing this job is simply it's an awful lot of busy work for not much result. Other than it's not leaking, I suppose. Is the challenge of exactly how little can you remove. Okay, well I do have access to the top bolt here already, and I do have access to the bottom one with a spanner and a socket on the other side. And I know it comes up and out this way. I'm trying to decide now, should I take the exhaust off or not? Because it might come out that hole, but it would be a lot easier if the exhaust wasn't on. But equally I don't want to take the exhaust off. I'm being really lazy about this because I really don't want to make this any extra work. Ooh. Okay. I can't remember if this is threaded in or whether it's just held. Oh no, that's moving. Right, okay. Okay. Put a bit of tape on there to stop this knocking. Okay. Okay, that's some movement. That's not enough movement. Okay, so we're going to have to loosen the tank. I don't want to take this off, I just want to prop it up a bit. Prop that up with a piece of foam. That's now given me access to the bolts. What job have you had to do that you really didn't want to? There aren't many jobs that I really don't want to do. Okay. The more and more things I undo, the more I don't want to. Think. Oh. Yeah. I was about to say, I think the thing that's holding that on is the boot on the airbox, and it's just popped off. Okay, so the tail end of the bike is now kind of free. Is that enough? Oh my god, I think it's going to be enough. So glad I put that tape there now. But this exhaust, yeah. Okay. Okay. Give me something that fits. Right, there we go. Right. Okay. So pull that out there. I'll put that in there so it doesn't pivot too much. Okay, so now the airbox intake is off. That's a thumbnail. Is there a route to freedom now? Come on. No, that connect. Oh, no, no, no. Yes! Oh my god, yes. Yeah, awesome. My god. So I've got the tail tied up here, but I've also now put a second rope down here which is holding it as well, so there's no weight on the wiring itself, so I can leave this a bit longer. Right, so now I need to loosen the rings to be able to drop the spring down and take it apart. So thankfully the first ring's nice and easy, you know, that just unscrews. The next one is going to be 1,000 taps. I don't have a wrench to... Wait, do I have a wrench to do this? In the XJ6 toolkit there is a preload adjuster. And yes, it's gonna work. Yep, do it by hand now. Okay, so now it's all the way down. Because I greased this, this should just pull apart. Yes, it did. Take the ring out, the one thin metal ring that actually holds this all together. Then this comes off. Then that comes off. We'll need to put this one back together, so let's put that there for the minute. So we do that all over again with this one. Take that clip out. Right, so this, don't want to get this confused, this is the one I want on the bike. Which means I want the white spring on it. I'm just using some all-purpose grease around here because when I took this off before now, the first time when it hadn't been off for a long time, it was a nightmare. Okay, so we get the clip. There we go. Just put a bit of grease on the top because this is spinning round, so at least it gives us something to stop it from scratching too much. Has that seated the spring? Yeah, it's starting to seat better. I say there. There we go. I may have to adjust it, but it's not that big a deal when it's on the bike. Do up the locking ring. So there we go, all back together, ready to go back in the bike. The only reason I changed it over originally is because I had that extra shock. And I thought, well, it must be because it's only got 5,000 miles on it. It must be better than my one. Well, no, didn't seem any different. And actually, this one doesn't leak and that one does. So we're going to stick this back in. However, I'm going to do that in the next video because I've just taken a look at the back end of the bike. And I'm like, there's a lot of dirt that I can get to in there. And getting this all back in is going to be a mission in itself. So rather than making really long videos, let's make some shorter ones. I'll catch you in the next one, and we'll put it back together. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to see that next part. I'm on my way to 100k and I'd appreciate it anyway. And if you want to help support this channel, please consider doing that through Patreon. Links in the description. And a thank you to everyone that does support this channel through like Patreon, merch, and the few people I always forget to mention that actually help through PayPal. There is also a link for that in the description if you want to help support the channel. Until the next one, bye bye.